Welcome to my Cringus. We're back with Danganronpa. I'm a little triggered because I went from Wukong where I was getting my ass kicked by everything but the boss. And yeah, let's continue. My prediction last time was that Miyu is the killer in the situation. I'm just saying, things feel a little too random, unless you think deeper into the situation. Tenko's body. She took a last breath crouched over like this. According to the Monokuma file, her only injury is the stab wound to her neck. This wound was fatal. This must have caused instant death. I didn't hear a scream during the seance. Oh, wait. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over. Would Tenko really keep her mouth shut despite the pain?
No.
Yes.
The death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
Huh? What do you mean?
What's the point?
You were concerned about that, right?
Okay.
When the wound is deep, the victim is too shocked to do anything except die.
Well, let's listen to the professional then. You're speaking from experience.
That's obvious.
Of course. Quick deaths are my specialty.
Well, let's just listen to the professional then. Well, then, that makes sense.
By the way,
The real question is, what was she killed with? I don't see a murder weapon around.
Kitchen knife. You're right. I don't see an obvious murder weapon. That could be a clue. Maybe it's a clue on the stone. Maybe Tenko would have licked the stone until her name. There's a rock next to Tenko's body. This must be... Please, rest your forehead upon this stone marker I've placed here. It's a stone I brought from the courtyard. Are you sure it will work? Certainly. It's merely needed as a marker for a forehead to rest upon. Like this? Tenko had a forehead on this rock, hunched over. She had to make herself small to fit inside of the cage. Marker stone! Iron cage. This is a cage used in the seance.
is this?
It looks to be around 3 feet high and 5 foot wide. It's a pretty large iron cage.
Okay.
Big enough for a person to fit inside. During the seance, Kokichi and I covered Tenko with the cage. We were supposed to remove it as well. But it was Himeko who rushed in and removed the cage first. Hey yo, Himeko showing that she's more manly than all of these fanboys combined. Good going, Himeko. Good going. Good going.
Hey,
Hey, look at this.
is this?
A blood stain on the bottom of the cage. Probably Tenko's blood, yeah?
That's true.
Yes, I imagine so. The splatter must have been made when she was killed.
What do you mean?
Which means Tenko was killed while she was inside the cage.
Pretty fucking obvious.
Okay.
I think you're right. Tenko went under the cage before the seance. But when the cage was lifted after the seance, she was already dead.
Then,
If she was stabbed right when the cage was lifted, that would explain this blood stain, right?
Huh?
Perhaps she wasn't killed during the seance, but at the exact moment the cage was lifted. That's a possibility. Engage! It's the wooden dog statue used in the seance. I believe it's called the guard dog. During the seance, this wooden statue was on top of the cage. It took 4 of us to remove it. Couldn't that mean someone was hiding inside of the statue? I don't know why I keep popping in my head that someone could have possibly been hiding in the statue. Or there's a contraption in the statue that when it was moved abruptly. This is the thought.
This wooden statue is pretty heavy.
If I remember...
Kiyo said it was about 175 pounds. That's about the weight of 2 girls.
what?
What do you know about girls? Have you ever touched a woman beside your mother?
Katie. Enough said. Enough said. What do you got to say about that? We're even speaking about your weight. Mention weight around Maki and all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, yeah, shut up, Maki. What?
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. The utmost of bullshit.
Is this?
If this everything was on top of the cage, then Tenko wouldn't have been able to get out easily.
Even with the cage, she wouldn't. But she's a Neo Aikido master. She should have been strong enough for that. No, are we underestimating this bitch? Yeah, you're right about that. It doesn't sound like you were kidding earlier. She wasn't, bro. But voice inside her head, bro, she's very sensitive about her weight. If she were to react by the word weight around her, even though it was not directed at her. I wonder if she checks the scale every morning. I'm just saying, Maki, spend next time pulling your face then. I'm just saying. That's a top. It's a top. This is the white top he used for the seance. This was placed on top of the cage. Kiyo was the one who removed it.
Is this...
So that makes Kiyo a little suspicious, because say there was a contraption in the top and Kiyo was the one to remove it, you could take the contraption in the top, fold it over, walk away, right? Because that means it would be according to what his plan is. This still could possibly be Kiyo, but I'm just saying it's suspicious that Miu hasn't showed up until the end. It's similar to a window curtain, but it's completely opaque, and on the back looks like there's a blood stain on it, right around the middle of the sheet. But no hole in the fabric. So it didn't go through the dog god statue, which means Tenko wasn't stabbed through this cloth.
Okay.
She was stabbed while underneath the cloth.
Wachi! Right, stop the Himeko. How you doing, Himeko? You good, mate? No, she's not.
Hey!
God, don't make me get the bitch slapping hard up in your ear, huh? Telling Himeko to be strong, he's crying the most. Himiko's silent the whole time. Himiko's like internalize it, make it become rage and fight Monokuma later on. Himeko, hey Himeko, be strong, Himeko.
Wait.
Gonta, if you shake Himeko that much, she's going to break.
But
She's not talking. It's like Himeko not even here.
Like I thought.
She must have been really shocked over Tenko. Let's leave her be for now.
Okay. Himeko. And where were you, Miu?
This investigation is over and shut, and it's all thanks to me for giving Kibo his new function. Now then, Kung Fu's killer is obviously one of you stupid assholes who signed up to do this bullshit seance in the first place.
Couldn't have been. Could have been. Changed my mind, yo. Who asked for what's the name? Kibo to be removed? That's my question. Tenko. Wasn't it Tenko? Because I'm pretty sure wouldn't Kibo be able to see what happened? Because he's a robot?
no.
No, not necessarily.
Ha! Seriously? The seance was clearly set up to lure in and kill her. How could someone who wasn't even the room kill her?
Could it be?
So you believe that Tenko was killed during the seance?
There's no other possibility for shit for brains. God, you don't even know that.
Bitch, you're getting on my last nerve right now. You're getting on my last nerve right now. It's true that Tenko was alive before the seance began. This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it'll be Angie speaking through you.
Understood. I'll not say a word until the seance is over.
Tenko answered Kiyo, so at that point, she was most certainly alive. When the candles were relit, she had already been killed. That means she was killed in the dark. I'm positive. Time exact was Tenko killed? After the candles were blown out? That may be an important point of this case. Right. See, we didn't even get a point from you. Alright, what do you have to say?
Man, what a lame function. You should have made him like a transformer or something.
Alright, he has nothing to say. Korekiyo, the most suspicious out of everyone.
Be?
Why? Why did this?
I knew it.
Kiyo, I know the murder was pretty shocking.
But of course.
Of course I'm shocked about that as well. But why did the seance fail? We performed all the steps flawlessly. He seems more concerned by that than the murder.
Ah, yes.
Oh, we performed the caged child again and summoned Tenko spirit this time.
Stupid.
Cut the crap. Just tell me what happened during the seance. Both of you and Shuichi were present, right? Did you get killed during the seance?
I see. Yes.
True. Maybe best to move past what happened to know why the seance failed.
Is that so?
Whatever. Just hurry it up.
At the time, in order to begin the seance, we had Tenko, the spiritual medium, position itself as a turtle within the magic circle, so her head touched the marker line stone. Then Shuichi and Kokichi placed the cage over Tenko. After that, I placed a white cloth over the cage. Then all four of us placed the wooden statue of the god dog atop the cage. Afterwards, we stood in the four corners of the room. Kokichi and Shuichi blew out the candles.
Yes.
Finally, we all sang the song. The seance should have been complete, but... now that you mention it, I remember hearing a strange sound during the song. Don't be singing it. Don't be singing it. Don't be fucking singing it. Alright. It is a mystery to me as well. I thought someone may have tripped. Perhaps. That was a pretty loud sound for someone tripping. Perhaps Kyo knows something.
What do you mean?
And then what happened?
Yes.
We called out to her, but no reply came. I had Shuichi and Kokichi relight the candles. And then we removed all the items from within the magic circle in the opposite order. First, all four of us removed the dog god statue. Next, I took off the white cloth, and then... Himeko ran over to the cage, and the moment she lifted it... Dead. Tenko was already dead. Why are we standing with eyes closed like we'd say some sort of order? What are you doing?
And it sounded like Tinko was definitely killed during the seance.
No.
But would it not be difficult in such darkness? Besides, she was inside the cage, yes?
Then when was she killed?
Well, that's...
Yes, that's the problem.
I see, yes.
There is another problem.
How?
And that is, why ever did the seance fail? Cringus, while editing, edit the Cringus, call me Ed. It's because it's supposed to be 5 people in the room, right? The spiritual medium included one of them. Kokichi, Shuichi, Tenko, Himeko. I mean Korekiyo. You know who the 5 was in the room, right? That means the seance failed because there was a 6th person. And the 6th person, well, you're gonna find it in the bed anyway. We'll get to that. It out. I simply cannot figure it out.
Perhaps.
Maybe someone moved from the corner. Did someone else sneak in here?
What's the point?
Obviously, since the seance was clearly a sham.
Maki never was one to pull up punches. Sound during seance! Ruin magic circle, right? It's a magic circle Kyo drew on the floor. Well, at least it was.
Oh dear.
It's been completely stomped over. I suppose it was unavoidable.
Well,
Was it drawn with salt?
Yes.
Whenever I perform a seance, I always use salt. Wouldn't that mean, well, everyone would have salt on their feet by this point? But, except for Tenko. But then, wouldn't the person without salt on their feet be the clearest suspect? Because if it wasn't the 4 people in the room, and everyone stepped over the salt in the room, and I'm just thinking here, I'm just spitballing.
what?
Are you feeling alright? You sound ridiculous.
He always sounds ridiculous. Why are you taking him seriously?
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous? I've performed many successful seances. Why, I have even had spirits enter my body. Ayo, I do not need to hear that. Too much information that you were fucking the ghosts. Having the ghost fuck you. I don't know, dude. You look a little too female for me to be able to judge that.
Right.
Shut up. Don't want to hear about your stupid delusions.
Maki really doesn't beat around the bush. It's kind of refreshing, really. Katie didn't beat around the bush. You didn't glaze her like that.
But
In any case, you might have. I'm pretty sure you did. He glazed a lot. You know what I mean. In any case, with all these footprints, I can't make out the original circle.
So what?
We'll find out in Kyo's lab. It should be written in the cage dog document.
Hey,
Isn't that right, Kyo?
He seems depressed. I suppose that makes sense. Alright, what else was to look at? Candles hung on the walls. The only source of light in the room. There are no windows in this room, so without the candles it was pitch black. How did the culprit kill Tenko in complete darkness? It was Kibo. It was Kibo. Under the floorboards, Miyu installed some sort of light mechanic in him. And if, say, we were to say it was Miyu, and Miyu programmed Kibo to do it, wouldn't Kibo just be a tool in the situation? And if he's counted as a student and he did the killing, then that means Miyu gets off scot-free, since Miyu didn't kill both of them. Meaning if Miyu killed either one of them, I'm pretty sure it's Miyu and Kibo's relation in this one. Hole in the corner. I did not see that. There's a small opening in the corner of the room. Doesn't look big enough for a person to get through, but still.
Is this?
Hell, looks like there's some space underneath here too. Hold on. I can see something below. Looks like something dropped down there.
Huh?
What? Something dropped down there? Was something dropped from here? Out in the corner. What dropped down there? Can we see?
Hey,
After we check everywhere else, why don't we go under the floor and see for ourselves?
Right.
Right, let's do
by
it.
the way,
It seems pretty dark down there. What should we use for light?
That's true.
Let's bring a candle. With Kibo's light from up here, that should be fine.
okay.
Then I'll go get the candle. Remove the floorboard so we can go down.
Okay.
Okay, got it. I pulled off some of the floorboards next to the hole and took a candle from Maki. Then we carefully made our way through the hole into the floor. That's a lot of blood. There's blood on... Why is there blood on the opposite end unless the floorboard is completely span around? Why is there blood on the... If she's bleeding on this side, the board's either flip or flip. Oh. This is a lot more spacious than I thought. You can move pretty easily on all fours.
Okay.
Let's look around for clues.
Well,
It looked pretty stupid if we found no clues after crawling around in this dusty place.
Yeah. Right. Bloodstain. Blood dripping from the gaps in the floorboards. Fresh blood. This is definitely Tenko's. Right. No, there's no way that's not the thing I'm supposed to look at. Ah, look. Part of the crosspiece that supports the floorboard is cut off.
that's true.
It's near the loose floorboard. A portion is missing, about the same width too.
And from what I can see of it,
That's true.
it wasn't broken off naturally. It was cut by someone. There should have been saws in the warehouse, so they could have used that. The question is why?
Another crosspiece is supporting the floorboard, so it might not fall if this portion is missing.
Then,
So what purpose did this serve?
The floorboard underneath Enko's body is loose, and the crosspiece supporting it has been cut. If the culprit did all of this, then why? Are you dumb, bro? Because clearly this was premeditated. Damn! Crosspiece under the floor. And then a little blood on that end. There's a bloodstain on the ground underneath the loose floorboard. That's pretty far from where Tenko's blood was dripping down. It's under the same floorboard, just at different ends. Alright, 8-back, I may have realized something else. That blood belongs to Angie. Hear me out. Angie has lacerations on her forehead. But then, how would that have happened? She chopped the wood in preparation to use this room for something. I don't know what. Maybe Atawa told her that this would happen and Tenko would die. Oh fuck, I have a feeling that is the case. And as she was chopping it, piece of wood fell flush upon her face. Blood squirted out, and that's why she has laceration on her forehead. But that begs the question, who killed Tenko? Wait, what if Atawa gave Angie a heads up of what would happen, and only by dying could she convince everybody or lead everybody to the culprit? Head out. Why is there blood here?
hey,
Hey, the back of this floorboard has blood in it too.
You're right, there's a little bit of blood on the underside of the floorboard.
what do you mean?
Did Tenko's blood splatter when she got killed?
That's true.
I wonder. I can't really be sure yet,
Okay.
but the blood stains here are completely dry. Must be some reason these particular stains are dry. The dry blood under the floor. Loose floorboard. That can't be all. Ooh. There's a sickle here, and there's blood all over it.
Okay.
The bloodstain on the sickle is fresh. This is it. This is the murder weapon.
Is this?
This came from my research lab.
Huh?
It did?
Well,
A sickle can be used to assassinate the target. It can be thrown without losing any lethality, and you can hide it under your clothes too.
Well,
If she was attacked with this, she wouldn't stand a chance. The blade is about 6 inches.
That's right.
And since Tenko was in the cage, she wouldn't have been able to defend herself.
but
But if this is our murder weapon, how did the culprit attack Tenko under the cage? The blade could fit through the gaps in the cage, but could it reach her neck?
That's true.
That cage is 3 feet high. If you were able to stab into it with a 6-inch blade, well, would depend on Tenko's posture. But I don't think it's impossible.
Then her posture is the question.
Hey,
Hey, if the weapon is down here, the culprit must have thrown it away, right?
that's true.
Perhaps after killing Tenko, the culprit threw the sickle on the floor in the dark. That's the sound we heard. Who was in that corner? Who was in that corner? It was either Kyo or Himeko. Or they could be under the floor the entire time. Either of those is possible. Sickle under the floor. I think that's everything. Ooh, that's not everything. Some of the wood is corroded and is broken off, so you can see into the next room.
hey,
This is the wall of the empty room, right? It's like there's wood along the wall. This part is rotted away.
Looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't even made intentionally. But I can get into the next room through here.
that's true.
If I remember correctly, the room next door is also empty, right? Then the culprit could have gone from room to room by moving under here instead of using the hallway.
No.
True, but it would have been difficult moving around under the floor. We did alright because we had a light, but without that it'd be pitch black. Rhymes, he's got him. Shuichi, little Sahara in the business. That might make it impossible to move around in there.
Nope.
Then they could have used a light like we are doing right now.
Well,
True. They use a light to move around under the floor. Is that possible? Kibo, bro. I think we finished investigating here.
is that alright?
Maki, you want to head back up?
Glad you asked. Started to get fed up with all this dust.
After Maki and I crawled up from under the floor, we put the floorboards back and returned to our investigation.
By the way,
You've only been investigating this room. You sure that's wise?
What do you mean?
because
If Angie and Tenko have different killers, then the blacking we need to vote for is...
You're right.
The culprit of the first murder, the culprit who murdered Angie. That's what Monokuma said.
then
So instead of investigating Tenko's death, shouldn't we be investigating Angie's?
Okay,
Yes, of course.
but
But this is bigger than the killing game. For the sake of the two who died, I need to reveal the truth of both their deaths.
Well, I understand why you feel that way. If you plan on investigating the other crime scene again, you should probably hurry.
See man over the Cringus. Won't you like, subscribe, smack a face for the keyboard a couple of times on notification. Always check out all links in the description, especially our second channel, access to Genshin, playing Star Rail and Genshin Impact, and yeah, pray for me.
The death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
What do you mean?
what's the point?
You were concerned about that, right?
Okay.
When the wound is deep, the victim is too shocked to do anything except die.
Well, let's listen to the professional then. You're speaking from experience.
That's all.
Of course, quick deaths are my specialty.
Well, let's just listen to the professional then.